Dadgum, we are live. Good morning, Vietnam, and welcome back to another edition of the Dirty and Driven Podcast. If you didn't already know, most of you probably already did. My name is James Devaney, and I am your host. This is the show where we bring people to the blue-collar world, teach them how to kick ass whenever we're not rambling about a bunch of other stupid shit. As always, I'm joined by the new hat wearing, flip-flop and cargo pants wearing KCD.
How are you?
Talented KCD.
Mama Llama says good morning. Oh, and
We got the Certified Wrench podcast on here.
God, hurry up is what he says. He's probably saying that because that long-ass intro.
Yeah. Oh, he's saying it because it's Sunday. He's like, God,
All right.
hurry up. Come back. There's too many crazy-ass chicks on this world right now. Oh, man. Yeah, if you're just listening, just to let you know, we are doing this live on YouTube every fucking week now. This is our thing. We are recording all our podcasts live, so be sure to catch us at whatever random recording time that we're doing it. It's sporadic and very inconsistent, just like everything else in our lives.
I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of 8 or 9 in the mornings, then 5:30s in the afternoons is our schedule.
Yeah, we typically record in the morning, and somebody said, why so early? Well, this individual does not work in the construction trades.
Yeah, those people is what I call, they have banker's hours.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
You know.
Yeah. 9 in the morning is like, I mean, they woke up 30 minutes before.
Yeah.
You know, the blue collar guys, they're already on their 6th cup of coffee and 2nd Red Bull.
Yeah.
You know? So, anyways, man, we got a few people on here. Certified Wrench Podcast says he thinks that our tractors are sexy. They really turn me on.
That's Kenny Chesney, right?
Is it? I think so.
Yeah.
I don't know for sure.
Dude, he's got, in a little Kenny Chesney defense, I mean, he's got some catchy songs. He's just a pipsqueak, man.
Your hatred for Kenny Chesney is what gets me up in the morning.
Luke Bryan's worse, though.
Oh, yeah.
Luke Bryan's
he is the antithesis.
He's the apex.
Yeah.
He's the apex predator of fucking shitty commercialized. Oh gosh, I'll be all shucks.
Oh, shucks. Oh, shucks. Dang, dude, it's been 2 weeks since we recorded, and every time, I can't remember the last time that we actually went 2 weeks without, like, recording.
Seeing each other.
Yeah. Like generally, we'll have 2-3 weeks between, like, just a you and I episode, but it's just been straight up 2 weeks since we recorded last, so there's a lot of crazy stuff going on in that 2 weeks. Well, give me the recap on what your 2 weeks looked like.
I can't remember 2 weeks ago, but I was getting ready for our big going out of town cruise.
Yeah.
With the wife.
Yeah.
But we did it.
Sold out 10,000 person Carnival cruise.
There's probably like 2,500 or 3,000 passengers. Then all the crew and all that goodie. It was a good time, man. We did our own thing. It didn't seem cramped or anything like that. I mean, they're really good at having activities and spaces and all that to where it doesn't feel like you're on top of each other.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I talked to somebody who went on one last week too, and she said that there was like 6,300 people on the boat.
Yeah, that's a big.
That's a lot of fucking people.
Yeah, that's it. You know, overall with the crew and all that, with the one that we went on the Carnival Conquest out of Miami. I'm just spitballing here. There's probably 4,000, maybe. It's a smaller cruise ship in their fleet.
Yeah,
probably a 20-some-year-old ship.
Yeah, that's not too bad right there. I could do that, but yeah, whenever somebody said 6,000, I was like, that's a lot of people on a boat.
Yeah, but so the idea where I was getting at with that is, yes, a lot of people, but there's so many different places and stuff to where a lot of people hang out in their cabins the whole time. A lot of people hang out in the casino. A lot of people hang out in a blues bar. A lot of people will hang out at the arcade. They'll hang out, at the sports bar at the restaurant. There's at the pools. There's a bunch of different pool areas and water slides and all that. So it's so spread out that if it's too congested in one spot, you can find you a spot to where you can breathe and hang out.
What do you do?
Our major deal was eating in casino the whole time.
Did you win any money in the casino?
I don't know if we came out ahead, but we did pretty good the first night. Lost a little bit the second or third days. Then the last day, dude, we crushed it, man.
Really?
Yeah, we crushed it.
Hit that jackpot?
Not jackpots, but my wife was playing and she was winning so much. I was the one losing, but she was not only carrying me, but she was winning. That the more you play and the more you spend on these ships, the more you'll be compensated.
Oh,
and
yeah.
the second and a half day that we were on the ship, she put her card in. It's called like a sail and swim or sail and play or something. The carnival card. When she stuck it in, her player bank, she got awarded $1,000 of free play on the casino.
That's pretty good, man.
Yeah. So when I stuck my card in, I got $300 casino credit. But after the second day, they gave her $1,000 to play on.
I got you. That's
so
cool,
it's
man.
like you just
$1,000 free play. Damn.
Yes. So it's like,
Damn.
so we're like, hell yeah, because our money wasn't getting tight, but it's like, hey, we need to watch what we're spending.
Oh, Melody said 3,600 passengers.
Okay, so yeah,
she's on here correcting you.
So that plus the crew and stuff, I'm guessing probably 4,500 people total on the boat, but a lot of them you don't see because it's behind the scenes. Engineers, people working on stuff, the galley people, the waiters, all the service staff.
We should have our own cruise, Dirty and Driven cruise. You know how like they do like Carnival do like they did the Creed cruise last year. Can you imagine a Creed cruise? Just a bunch of dudes wearing Rock Revival jeans and like American Fighter shirts walking around on a cruise ship, spiky haircuts. That'd be lit, man. That'd be peak 90s in the mid 2000s.
Yeah, what was the first shirts that they were wearing in the UFC? The guys, there's three of the dudes. The one with the big afro that was promoting it.
I don't know.
Somebody will come on here and say it.
I'm sure.
But yeah, I can see those type of shirts. The Affliction shirts, but they were
Affliction, but like American Fighter.
Yeah, what was the other shirt? It was the original Affliction shirt. It wasn't Affliction, but it was Tap Out.
Oh, Tap Out.
Yeah, the Tap Out guys.
Yeah, and they were like $80 a shirt.
Yeah.
I had like 2 of those in high school.
Did you?
Yeah, dude. They were in, man.
Did you have the chain wallet too?
No, I never had the chain wallet.
Because dude, them pickpocketers, man.
Dude, I remember in high school, that was a rough transition for me, man. Because like, I'd finally like senior year of high school, I'd talk my mom into buying me like 2 pairs of like not the real gaudy horrible jeans, but like like because they had like the Rock Revivals that some dudes were wearing. They had like the weird shit on them, like the real. But mine were the ones with like the white stitching, the ones that you buy at the buckle. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then like the American Fighter and Hurley shirts and all that. And like a lot of guys were wearing those in high school and I'd got those. Man, I went to college and it was in the fall, like whenever I first went there, I wasn't really wearing them because it was hot. Well, and then like winter, I wore a pair of those jeans one time. Dude, I got my ass roasted.
Yeah.
Like till kingdom come.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, not wearing these anymore. And I sold them all on Facebook, I think, that day.
Sorry, I was reading the Certified Wrench.
Oh, yeah. No, that's a good topic. Working while you're sick. Dude, I'll tell you what. 2 weeks ago, Colton's talking about, let's talk about working while we're sick, cold or flu or worse. I'm sick as a dog right now, and I've been working and podcasting. Dude, I think 2 weeks ago, like our whole crew got sick. Like everybody, some sort of... I don't even know. Just everybody was getting sick. There was like 24-hour bugs going around. Then there was just some sort of like cold or flu or something going around. Man, I bet we had like 10 or 15 people get sick out of our crew. And it was nuts. I mean, a lot of them were trying to work, but in the heat, dude, people were going down like flies. It was tough. That's not a bad topic, really.
Did you bust out the Blackstone and like undercook some meat and serve it to them? Is that why they all got sick?
No. Unless they got sick like 2 weeks late.
The 2-week bug instead of the 30-minute bug or the whatever it took 2 weeks to kick in.
Yeah, dude, that's real shit. Working
it was a
while
slow
you're
burner.
Sick. Yeah, dude, working while you're sick. I've worked while I'm sick plenty of times. I don't like calling in sick. I mean,
No.
there's a couple different types of people, right? There's the people that will only call in when they're like super sick. That's me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't mind calling in sick if I absolutely have to, but I've got to be pretty sick for me to want to call in. There's been days where I wake up and I go, but then I go in anyways. Like, I'll just try to go tough it out. But then there's like the people that any minor headache or
Yeah.
cold or allergies, then they call in sick, and it's like a couple times a month.
Yeah. There's the people that if you have a system in there to protect the worker, they'll abuse the system.
Yeah.
Short-term leave, sickness. If you do so many in a row, then you can come back, but then you can take off again. Kind of like during the COVID deal.
Yeah.
Where if you test positive for COVID, dude, I have one story from my buddy that's a big supervisor. He said there was this one guy that he abused the system so hard during when COVID happened. He tested positive for COVID, then had to, be out for 2 weeks or whatever. Then the next thing, his wife tested positive for COVID. And, he was in, the same vicinity as her. So, he better stay home. So he got to stay home with pay. That's the beauty of where I'm at with, the energy company I work for, So then the next thing, he got ready to come back. Well, then he had surgery. He worked 1 or 2 days. Then he had surgery. Then he had short-term leave for 3 months. Then when he came back for a week. Then, he tested positive for COVID again, or was around somebody. And dude, he did that for probably 6 months, 8 months. I mean, that's an extreme example of abusing, taking advantage of the system, right?
Yeah. That's how it was where I'm at whenever COVID first came around.
Mm-hmm.
It was like if you were exposed or if you travel, and I didn't really understand this rule. I think they were going off of CDC guidelines at the time. This back in 2020, of course. If you traveled more than 2 hours away, then they wanted you to take like 2 weeks off because of risk of exposure, or if you got exposed to somebody, or there was a whole list of like things because they didn't want you getting everybody else sick. And then like if you got it, it was like you had to be off for 2 weeks. Some guys were off 2 to 3 weeks by the time they got it, and then they healed up. It was a mess, man.
Yeah,
it was a mess.
Mama Llama says in 20 years she's only seen Casey, which obviously that's my wife, missed 2 days of work, sick. One was from COVID. I don't know if I missed because of COVID. I had it was a 6-hour sickness or anyway, but the other one was because I had a spider bite on my calf.
Mm-hmm.
And I went into work. I had a spider bite. Went into work. Fucking hurts. And I knew, and it kept swelling. And it swelled up so much on my calf that it was one of them real hard knots. I mean, just like a rock underneath the skin. And it was so bad. I went into work anyway, no big deal. I'm not on my feet a lot. But it was so bad, no matter how I tried to get comfortable or whatever, I ended up having to call a guy in to come out because it was just, I couldn't have done my job efficiently, without my eyes and mind on the task. Yeah. I would have been a liability, so I called somebody in. And dude, I've got an old video of that. Not like anybody wants to know, but I'll find it. But I took a video. This is back when phones were just having cameras, probably 2010-ish, like decent, shitty pixel cameras.
Oh, yeah, dude.
And I took a video of...
Wait, iPhone or a regular phone?
It was like a flip phone. Or,
dude,
it was one of those...
I remember we were like, yeah, you can take pictures.
Yeah.
I found a picture from one of those flip phones a while back, and it was like straight. It looked like 2 a.m. in a bar kind of picture.
Yeah,
and that was like state of the art.
Yeah, or like like a VHS tape that you record over and over. The quality is so shitty on it.
Yeah,
but I took a video of that spider bite when I finally popped the pus out of that hard rock of a spider bite.
Yeah, and
pretty snazzy. Try to find it and send it to you.
Yeah, that's beautiful stuff, man. Yeah, dude, working while you're sick that's a pretty good topic actually for today. Well, not necessarily the topic, but I'm telling you, we had those people that got sick. Dude, I done saw 3 people go to the hospital this week and another guy die. No shit.
You saw somebody die?
I didn't see him die, but I was there for the aftermath. Not on the crew, not on the clock, not where I work, but construction worker,
Right.
nonetheless. That maybe doesn't have anything to do with going to work while he's sick, but there's some sick shit that happened at work after that.
Did they do something to the guy while he was dying? I mean, something really sick.
So
like,
I'll
did they drop their pants and kind of squat over him while he was dying? Was that sick?
No. Okay.
Oh.
So you know we have Airbnbs.
Mm-hmm.
And you know that my mom has Airbnbs.
Mm-hmm.
And they went to Japan the last 2 weeks. Turns out Japanese people are actually pretty small. I called my brother and asked while he was in Japan. I was like, hey, would we be considered huge there? And he goes, oh, yeah, everybody's like chest height for me. I was like, okay.
Your brother's getting pretty big, though.
I don't know if he's taller than me yet, but he's close.
Yeah.
He's real close. Anyways, Relo Adams tuning in all the way from Ponca City. Anyways, what the hell was I about to say?
You're talking about
Airbnbs, yeah.
So Airbnbs.
What do you think? What do you think the worst that could happen in Airbnb is? I mean, I already spoiled it.
Yeah,
but yeah.
A sick dead smell underneath in the crawl space, and you couldn't pinpoint it. Then a raccoon that has been decaying.
Well, now that's pretty bad too.
Yeah.
So I think it was that same house. Was that the house on Hazel?
It's on the corner.
Oh, that was the Ray house. That was the Ray house. Okay,
yes,
not the Airbnb,
but there's two of them right there, right?
Yeah.
So it's the one right next to it.
Yeah. So and it's probably one of the nicest Airbnbs in town. I'm sure my mom's gonna kill me if she hears this, but she doesn't listen.
It could be the carbon monoxide that's getting everybody.
Yeah. No, dude, it was
the carbon monoxide got the raccoon, not got somebody else.
So, dude, this is fucked, man. So we get a call. They're in Japan, right? And my wife and I are watching all their properties while they're gone. You know, hey, if you have an emergency, call James or Victoria. Well, Victoria gets this call, and Victoria had surgery last week, I will say. And this is the first time she's left the house. Just to set the scene, this is the first time she's left the house in over a week because she had surgery, not this last Thursday, but the one before that. So she's looking beautiful as always, right?
Yeah.
A little rough. Still, her face is kind of swollen. She's got these like tampon things sticking out of her nose. You know, she's literally just wearing like a crop top and some like ratty shorts and house slippers.
So
because
to explain, but she had like, wasn't it like sinus or something?
Yeah, she got her sinuses roto-rooted is how the doctor described it to me. He probably used a medical term, but I wasn't.
All right.
No comprende. So anyways, all right, I'm rambling here. She'd had surgery a week before, and this is the first time she's left the house. And it's because my parents were coming back this day from Japan. So it was like, hey, can you take our car to the parking lot where we're going to be dropped off at so we have it? Yeah. So I drive, we go to their house, we get their car, we drop it off in this parking lot. We're driving back, and her phone rings, and it's an unknown number. And she's like, whose number is this? And I was like, I don't know. She's like, I don't even want to answer. This is 7:30-ish at night.
Yeah.
And she answers it, and they're like, hey, is this Victoria? Yeah. Hey, yeah, so we're staying at this house, and there's a problem at the house. And we're like, okay. She goes, not with the house, but just at the house. And immediately I looked at Victoria, I was like mouthed to her. I was like, somebody died. And she was like, she's like, so, yeah, there's 4 guys staying there. Our crew, our construction crew is staying there. And they all went out and drank last night. And I'm just sitting here like, the more she's talking, I was like, ugh. And she's like, and one of them got really drunk and he went to bed that night and they couldn't get him up in the morning. He wasn't getting up. So they decided to just go to work and let him sleep it off. You know, whatever, let him call in sick. And they came back this evening and he's, they found him, he's dead. We're like, what? So immediately we just pulled back in our driveway. So we drive back across town, go to that house, and we're like, okay, you know, have the policeman called? Is it, you know, they're like, yeah, police have been called and everything. We're like, okay, are they still there? And they're like, I don't know if they're there yet. And I was like, oh, they like just found this
Yeah.
guy. So we show up and she tells us that this guy is actually another one of the crew members' uncles, first of all. And there's 4 of them staying in this house. Well, she calls us back and she goes, yeah, they're still going to stay there till Friday. This was on a Wednesday. She goes, they're still going to stay there till Friday. You know, they've got to finish the job going on and everything. And I was like, holy shit. Can you imagine
Yeah.
staying in the house your uncle just died in, that you travel with, that you work with, that's your crew buddy
Yeah.
for another 2 nights and going to work?
Yeah.
Dude.
That'd be prime time for the Ghost Adventures people to come in and set up shop. Like hot off the press, body has just been removed, but you know, the entity, the spirits, the residuals from death is still there. Because, you know, supposedly when you die, you know, a little bit of your firing stuff, you know, goes off into the ether.
Yeah.
What if they set up shop? I meant immediately after they pulled the body out.
Maybe.
Didn't even change the bedspread or anything.
Maybe. You know, that could be. I told my mom, she was like, well, you know, can you go in and like take pictures? I was like, no, I'm not going to go in and take pictures. Dude, so this is the scene, okay? We're just standing in the driveway. It's an active,
Not crime scene,
not
but
crime
potential.
scene, but the police have it.
Something.
It's the police's scene, right? They're waiting for the medical examiner. The medical examiner had to get there and make his determination. The police did their investigation to see, like,
Foul play.
Was there foul play?
Mhm.
Did they damage anything? Which there was no damage. He just died in bed. There was no, because I asked him, I was like, is there vomit everywhere? Is there damage to the house? Like, was he drunk and destroying things? No. They're like, no, it's all pretty good in there. My mom's like, go and take pictures. I was like, I'm not going and taking pictures. Well, we're standing in the driveway. I still hadn't been home from work that day, so I'm wearing, you know, polo jeans, you know, looking my part. Victoria's wearing what I was saying earlier, you know, tampons sticking out of her nose, crop top, slippers. She's just trying to look, you know, hasn't brushed her hair that day kind of thing.
She looks like a walrus with the tampons out of her nose.
A little bit, you know. You said that, not me. You said that.
I wasn't assuming.
Yeah. No. You know what I'm saying? That's what she looks like. And there's 3 guys that don't speak a lick of English next to us, just bawling their eyes out. And then the cops are over here. They don't know who we are at first. And they're like, can I help you guys? And we're just like, yeah, we own the place. You know, it was a very awkward scene. All the neighbors are outside watching because they don't know what the hell's going on. There's just 3 cop cars and an ambulance right there.
Yeah. Well, that's a good reason to not show up for work, I guess, if we're talking about being, you know, too sick. You better be dead if you're not coming in.
You better either be dead or have a doctor's note.
Yeah.
That's the way a lot of these HR companies are.
Yeah.
You know?
To catch up on our chat, you know, Relo popped in earlier, all the way from Ponca City.
Yeah, dude. Big time.
Let's see. He did say,
oh, we had a few people join this thing.
yeah,
man.
let me.
We had like 2 people when that conversation started.
Relo said a child liker was discovered on his street last night. Did you hear about that?
Relo told me about it last night.
We found out immediately about it because the people who kind of went in did the old child liker bust were kind of the same people as the Alex Rosen dude. It's the Oklahoma like predator catcher. They're their own group.
Yeah.
And they pinpointed, I think, 2 guys in their 50s on, anyway, it was on Relo's street.
Yeah.
And I mean, you can get on YouTube or whatever and watch the whole, the child bust in Ponca City.
That's what somebody was telling me. They're like, I got my husband watching all 3 hours of that. Somebody told me that yesterday.
Yeah. So now, Relo and my wife because my wife follows that stuff big time. They're talking, she's getting all the scoop.
Dang, dude, this one's got it all. Death in an Airbnb, freaking busting child porn. A lot going on today.
Yeah.
A lot going on in the world of the
we even
podcast.
started, and we started kind of on a topic, work topic, and
Yeah. No, dude. And I actually saw it. So, you and I have preached about the heat a few times on this podcast.
Right.
I've seen 3 people go to the hospital for heat this year. And I mean, I'm not talking like new people. Like these are people that have worked in the industry for a little while.
I had not a close call, but a decent close call on our trip. We went to the little private island that Carnival has there in the Bahamas.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, it's badass. This island, they don't have a port built up for it, but the cruise ship, whatever, anchors offshore, and you take a ferry into this island. And dude, this island has bars set up, gift shops. They have UTVs driving up and down, making drinks. I mean, dude, the awesome sand, just the whole nine, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I talked to my wife the whole trip about, you know what? I haven't had to drink like hardly any of my elements, any of my electrolytes. And dude, I was drinking 7 and 7s the whole trip.
Yeah.
That's all I was pretty much drinking. And I wasn't cramping or anything. Well, the reason was I really wasn't exerting myself, right? So we finally have a beach day and we go to this beach. It's all day long on this beautiful, immaculate beach.
Where'd you say you were at?
It's something K. My wife will probably say it here in a sec, but it's part of the Bahama Islands, all the island chains. It's just, it's a private island that the Carnival cruise bought and they've like built. They're really building it. Dude, it's amazing.
Little St. Thomas or Little St. James or what is it?
No, Little St. Casey. No, but so while we're hanging out there, dude, awesome. Go out in the water, have our drinks and stuff, and we're walking all up and down this sand beach. Well, if people know how tough it is to walk in sand, right? I mean, it's not like you're walking on concrete,
right?
You know what I mean? So you're using all your little stabilizer muscles and stuff, and it's hot. Kind of sweating a little bit, walking up and down. And I've yet to really drink any water. I haven't been drinking any water this whole trip because I'm like, well, fuck. I'm getting to a good example of hydrating is what I'm getting at. So I have a drink or so and it's getting a little hotter. And even though you're in the water and stuff, you're still sweating and this and that. Well, it gets time for us to kind of eat. And dude, I start feeling a little, before we eat, I start feeling a little queasy because I hadn't eaten breakfast, hadn't drank any water. And pretty much all I had was alcohol, you know.
Woke up at 6 a.m. and just started drinking 7 and 7s.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I wasn't that much of a lush, but I hadn't had issues the whole trip. Now I was finally exerting myself, you know, in an environment sweating, and I had, you know, pre-planned. And dude, I felt it coming on. It was one of those deals. I felt like the muscle on my shin. You have, believe it or not, you have shin muscles. And I felt it kind of starting to tweak. And then I felt my toe muscles kind of starting to, you know, because you're walking in the sand, you know, kind of gripping with your feet to pull. And I could feel cramping coming on. And dude, it was coming on full force.
2-year uncut eagle talon toenails gripping.
Yeah, dude. So luckily there were some people had some water on the beach. And we ended up kind of cutting the beach deal short because I was a pussy and I didn't plan, but I had electrolytes with me and I started just chugging.
There you go.
Finally got back to a cool area. And once we got into a cool area back on the boat, I mean, it was like instantaneous that and the electrolytes, dude, I was over my almost bad heat, not heat stroke, but it would have been a heat something.
Mama says you got to pregame the hydration.
I should have, man. But I told her, I was like, dude, this is weird, dude. I haven't had to, there must be something I'm doing. I haven't had to drink electrolyte. Well, what I was doing was I was finally fucking relaxing and not sweating and exerting myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and when you're not exerting yourself, you're not burning calories and burning, you know, salts and all that shit.
Yeah.
And when I finally did just a hit of it, dude, it fucking started cramping.
Yeah, dude. It's real, man. And I don't know, man. This year's been weird weather-wise, but like I don't know why so many people have gone down this year versus past years. Like there's a lot of people I know that have done the precautionary stuff, you know, hydrated and, you know, made sure to try to eat a little better and stuff like that. But I mean, for one, I think that there was sickness going around like Colton was talking about earlier. There was some serious sickness going around and working in the heat with the sickness. That's tough. Not taking enough breaks. I don't know. But I've just seen a lot of people have heat issues this year. And like last year was way hotter. I mean, last year we had like 60 days in a row where it was just over 100 degrees. So it's
we've had a lot of humidity this year though.
This year it has been humid.
Dude, we're literally August by the time this show comes out, probably August 1st-ish. Yeah. And it's still green. I mean, we just had rain this morning. So it's still green here in north central Oklahoma.
Did it rain this morning?
Yeah.
I saw some water dripping out of my gutters, but I didn't see evidence.
A little wave went through.
Yeah.
But, so you know how it is. I don't know if you've seen those heat indexes or whatever, but when they calculate the temperature plus the humidity, You know what I mean? The heat indexes have been up there, indices have been up there high because of all the moisture in the air. So and here's a little bit, when we got to Miami, because I kept seeing Miami hot, unbearable, humid. Dude, it felt like we were in Ponca. You know what I mean? Because we were already acclimated to
the humidity,
the humidity and all that. So
yeah, that humidity is real stuff, man. Dude, Ben Parmalee said, if you think I'm about to hassle of trying to find another place, cancellation fees, packing, unpacking, Lysol, and Febreze, call it a night. For an Airbnb where someone just died.
So I wonder if you have to do a disclosure to the next potential renters saying there was a fresh death in the Airbnb.
No.
Well, let me tell you,
you don't even have to file a claim for it. I mean, you can if they wreck the place, but.
Well, here's something. Back when we owned our Body Masters building, it was across from the post office, the old Smith Home Furnishing building.
Yeah.
Well, when we had that, when we were selling the building itself, a potential buyer, she was pretty interested. It was like a 36,000 square foot building. She was pretty interested in the building, but one question she asked us was, has there been any history of ghosts or apparitions or anything or that in the building? And we're like, what the fuck? No, not. Are you sure? Because, and then she started going, well, supposedly I could be wrong here, but if there is known ghosts or shit like that, you need to disclose that to the potential buyer.
So that's if you sell it. I asked a realtor this question before because people always say, oh, they have to disclose to you. But I don't think they have to unless you ask.
Yeah.
Like they have to ask.
Yeah.
Because this is pretty messed up, but there was a house, people I knew, they sold their house and they moved. Well, this other guy bought the house and he wanted a quote to put a driveway in. Well, I go and I'm talking to him and everything, and he had just moved in like maybe a month before, and he starts telling me, he goes, yeah, I bought this house, and he's like, it's a super nice house. I just, I need to do this driveway and stuff. He goes, I don't know if I can stay here that much longer though. I was like, why? And he goes, they didn't tell me this until after I closed on the house, but a teenage kid hung himself in this house.
Nice.
And he goes, I didn't know. He goes, I thought they legally had to tell you that stuff, but he goes, turns out, because he's like, I don't know if he's gonna sue or if he was gonna, try to get out of, whatever. But yeah, it was one of those deals that like if you don't ask, then they don't have to tell you. But if you ask, they have to tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, make sure that you have carbon monoxide detectors in all of your Airbnbs.
Oh yeah, I do. I know I do.
Just because, what if a potential carbon monoxide deal didn't work and he was real susceptible? He had bad respiratory issues and he couldn't tough it. All the other guys had gotten up and got fresh air before him. You know what I mean?
I'm curious to know what the medical examiner report is, because I would like to know, did he die just from getting too drunk, or did he have a heart attack? Or because he had to be late 50s, early 60s.
It'll probably say Jose Guadalupe did not hang himself, is probably what the medical examiner will say. Epstein didn't hang himself.
Yeah. There's 2 bullets in the back of his head. He died from alcohol poisoning.
Yeah.
Oh shit, man. Oh, dude. She even said that there were orbs in her photos. Did that lady buy it?
Yes, that's right. No, she didn't, but that's right. So when she was walking around, and this is back in 2010-ish, maybe, or no, somewhere around there. Yeah, probably 2010-ish. She was walking around. This is, I know, whatever, but the camera quality was even worse. But when you take pictures, there's a little bit of dust, especially on the second and third floors of this building. So when you take pictures, there'd be, the dust particles in the picture, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But a lot of times when you watch those stupid ass ghost hunting shows, they'll say, oh my God, look at that. That's an orb. See that orb? And even if it's a video, and it's just a piece of dust that's been illuminated and it's slowly falling across the screen. But they'll say that it's an orb or, a ball lightning, or they'll call it something, like paranormal. And all it is a piece of, so when she had asked if we had any histories of ghosts, we're like, no, what do you mean? She goes, well, I've got these orbs whenever I've taken these pictures and dude, that's just fucking dust floating in the air,
like a
bitch.
Thumb over the lens.
Yeah.
Did she buy it?
No,
okay.
She didn't.
Okay. I didn't think so.
No.
I got these orbs.
Yeah.
God, dude. That's nuts, man.
I see Garrett Sharp's in the house.
Oh,
Gang,
yeah?
gang.
We got a few people in the house,
Ben
man.
Parmalee, good morning, man.
Good freaking
All the way
morning.
from California, is that right?
Yeah, California. Dude, my mother-in-law said something the other day that really reminded me of you. So, remember my mother-in-law is German.
German. Yeah.
Super German. Well, she came down for Victoria surgery, and she goes, I really wanted to stop at the Cowboy Travel Plaza there in Stillwater on the way here. I was like, what? She goes, oh, all the billboards, they just, they make it look so good. And she goes, I've stopped there before, and they have these fried giblets that I love. I was like, what? She goes, yeah, they sell fried giblets, and I love them. I was like, fried giblets? Whenever I think giblets, dude, I'm thinking of an upper decker, And I was like, what are you talking about? Fried giblets? What? Like, do you know what that is?
Well, I know that giblets, if I'm right, is all the stuff that, they pull off of the turkey. That anytime you fry a turkey or cook a turkey, they'll have the giblet bag in there.
Oh.
And you pull that out, and you got you got the heart, you got the liver, you've got the gizzards.
I think that's what it was. I think she meant fried gizzards, but she kept calling them fried giblets. And I was like, dude, Casey needs his own brand deal.
Yeah.
It can be like pre-made. Hear me out here. Okay, let's make a deal with like Tyson or somebody like that. Mm-hmm. And we can do Casey's giblets. And it can be like in the freezer section, already breaded, par cooked gizzards, that you just need to air fry or put in the oven for a few minutes or something. And we can name it Casey's giblets.
I'd do it, man.
Yeah.
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 I mean, nobody's really pushing the giblet market, I don't think.
Yeah. You could be the face of the giblet market.
I would, man.
Yeah.
Ain't no shame.
Yeah. Giblets going in, giblets coming out.
And what they say that the purpose of the gizzard was to remove gravel or rocks from their food or something.
That's what allegedly.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's what they say.
Yeah. I might have a lot in common with Victoria's mom because we have German lineage or whatever with the Andersons. Yeah. I think I told you that. But originally, I think my last name used to be spelled S-E-N or whatever from German great-great-grandparents or whatever. But then it finally went to the S-O-N, huh? Son.
Well, a lot of people changed it whenever they moved to America, like in immigration. I learned this from my last name. There's a few Devinnies out there, but I've never met another Devinny with the same spelling. Like I've seen some that have just instead of N-N-E-Y, it's just N-N-Y. I've seen some that have the V capitalized. I've seen D-I-V. Well, odds are we're probably all actually from the same family. 100, 200 years ago kind of thing. But whenever they moved to America, either they didn't know how to spell or they spelled it differently to more Americanize it or whoever the not Border Patrol, but immigration person was at the time. I think all that came through Ellis Island at that time. They might have written it down wrong. There was a lot of that from different foreign names.
Well, see, that's a perfect example of the telephone game, but, with last names.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, man. So anyways, Casey's Giblets coming to a supermarket near you.
Half Moon Cay was the island name.
Oh, what? So it wasn't Little St. James?
Little St. Casey.
You know what Little St. James is, don't you?
Where's that at?
That was Epstein's Island.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Hey, great reference, Sam. It went totally over me, man.
Dude, speaking of good references, I just watched a new show or a new movie. It's a Jerry Seinfeld movie, but it's what's it called? I want to say it's called Unfrosted. I think it's called Unfrosted. It was about Post versus Kellogg's race to basically create the Pop-Tart. Dude, that's a funny movie. That's the first movie I've watched in a long time, and especially a new movie.
Right.
That I thought was just absolutely hilarious. It was there was just so many hidden jokes in it that, if you're a guy that likes hidden jokes like I do and hidden references, it's hilarious. There was one spot where they recreated the January 6th riots, but in a the mascots of Kellogg's were doing it. It was just, it's a funny movie, dude. You have to check it out.
What was it called? Frosted?
I think it's called Unfrosted. and they're racing to create the first Pop-Tart, and it's Jerry Seinfeld and a couple other people. Great movie.
Hey, I'm going to pull up something real quick.
Okay.
I want to play it.
While you're pulling it up, I'm going to tell another story that I saw yesterday that I found absolutely hilarious. So I was driving down, I think I was on Union yesterday, right by the railroad tracks.
Mhm.
And I look over and I see this guy shoveling some rock on the railroad tracks, like just right by it, right at the intersection where there's a lot of loose gravel there. And I'm like, oh, okay. You know, there's somebody working. And I was like, wait, he doesn't work for BNSF. He's not wearing all the high vis and the hard hat and all that. This is just some dude in a cutoff shirt and some shorts. And then I look at his car and he's just driving this like rust bucket piece of shit, bucket of bolts car. And then I realized this dude's got like 10 5-gallon buckets that he's shoveling rock into. And then he's putting it in the back of his car. And I was like, this dude's just stealing rock from the railroad. Oh, dude, I thought that was genius.
Yeah, that should light up, man.
And yeah, dude, I'll tell you what, man. The railroad is really hard to work with and really hard to do anything with. So that's really sticking it to the man right there. Good for that guy. Good for that guy. Everybody should just go take a few bucketfuls of rock from the railroad today. Make them hurt.
All right. Hold on a sec.
Geez.
Hold on. All right, dude. Hey, to set this thing up, I saw this from Andy and DJ Cruise the Internet the other day.
Yeah.
And it's just a little 1 minute deal. But this guy on TikTok, he's an Indian guy, like not Native American Indian, but Indian.
Yeah.
And he does this short TikTok how basically they're not supporting Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
And he just, I shared it. Nobody, on my stupid Facebook, of course, nobody clicked on it, which that's fine. I mean, I'll go to sleep all right. But yeah, I'm going to pull this up. I'm going to put it on the camera deal here.
You might have to put your mic next to it.
Hold on. No. Maybe do your mic next to it.
This is how professional we are.
Yeah, we're getting there. You ready?
Oh, yeah.
Kamala Harris.
You are not getting any vote from the Indian community, specifically because you do not talk like this. You are half Indian and I've never seen you eat chicken tikka masala. Kamala Harris, have you even seen Om Shanti Om? Do you even know how to say hello in Hindi? It is Kyawa, by the way. But don't use that in your speech. I have not seen you wear a sari once in your life. Donald Trump will get the Indian vote, however. Do you know who runs all of Trump's IT software? That is correct. Indians. We run all the tech support on Truth Social. Kamala, I don't ever want you using your half Indianness ever again. We revoke your Indian access. You are not allowed to Uber eat from any Indian restaurant ever again. Indians, shame Kamala Harris. Shame.
So, has she gotten the official like nominee thing yet, or is it still just like that's kind of who they're talking about running?
Well, officially now, but she won't be come time. They're going to put somebody else in. I saw something that she might nominate like a Big Mike or a Hillary Clinton or somebody like that, or even old Gavin Newsom. And then what they'll do is they'll come out and say that she can't be the president because her parents weren't United States citizens when she was born. Mm. So that'll be the deal to throw her out. So whoever she nominates as her running mate, then they will get the nomination.
See, I was just trying to figure that out because, like, I don't understand, and I'm not trying to turn this political, but I don't understand how you can have a primary. This is where, like, as American people, like, if you're a Democrat, you should be pissed. Like, you had a primary election, you elected somebody, and now they're just gonna, they're just gonna.
But tell me this: they didn't even have a primary election. It's not like Joe Biden ran against Gavin Newsom or anybody else. It was just Joe Biden was a nominee. They had no choice, the Democrats. Zero choice. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, but they had a vote. I mean, they were able to vote. in the primary. I mean, right? There was other people running in the primary.
Oh, maybe I didn't.
I mean,
I can't name one of
I
them.
wasn't there. I mean,
Can you name
either.
one?
I don't think they had any strong candidates.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying, but you voted, like, you had a primary election, but nobody's talking about this. Nobody's talking about, hey, does our vote mean nothing? Like, now you're just going to put in there whoever you want?
Yeah. Like we said, are they really elected or are they placed?
Yeah.
So anyway, I thought that Indian guy was funny. I thought it was pretty fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
You do not get the Indian vote. Do not be using your Indian card. Man, talk a little bit political, nothing bad, but got the vibe. We did a lot of Ubering. When we were in, in Miami especially. Yeah, everywhere in Miami. And, dude, let me tell you something. If you've never been to especially a place like, I'd say Miami, is you want to talk about a melting pot of people. I've got the lighter melanin color, right? I'm a white boy, even though I'm kind of dark.
Really?
And I'd say 15 to 20% of my skin color was all around the Miami area. I mean, dude, the rest of it just all walks of life, dude. It's pretty fascinating. I mean, in a good way, because you got to see, more to the world than just central, United States. But dude, in the Ubers and stuff, talking with the Uber drivers, a lot of them are, pretty much their original homes are from South America, Mexico, places like that. And dude, all of them, if we kind of started talking a little bit about politics, I mean, the vibe everywhere we went was pro-Trump.
So
everywhere.
Did you see any of the Lizzos in Miami, like we talked about?
Some, and there were all, not only in Miami, and even on the cruise and stuff, all walks of life, wearing all kinds of swimwear or not swimwear.
Yeah.
All types.
Yeah.
Some that should have been wearing it, some that shouldn't have.
Yeah, some of them were hanging on by a thread.
Yeah. it was good. Good sightseeing.
Yeah. No, here somebody's on here from Florida. He said not going outside because I live in Florida.
Yeah.
Nice, man.
It's part of life.
That's part of life. Florida's a wild place, dude. It is a wild freaking place. But yeah, that was as I told you, that was what scarred me whenever I was in Miami.
Speaking of, when we were in the Miami airport getting ready to fly back here 2 days ago, and it was real bit. I mean, it's a pretty busy airport, like any airport is.
Oh yeah.
We walked by a bunch of different Boy Scout groups.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, they're wearing their little outfits, and their shirt said BSA on it for Boy Scouts of America. And the one group that we walked, or what troop or whatever you call it, post, we walked by them, and they all were wearing, kind of the stereotypical outfits. But this other one had a different style of outfit. It was more kind of a T-shirt branded, it wasn't the traditional like you would see.
Yeah.
But I immediately thought of you.
Yeah. Oh, I have an update. Apparently the Paris mayor did swim in that river that we were talking about. Everybody took a shit in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Apparently that did happen because they are swimming in that river for some stuff at the Olympics.
What do you think about the opening ceremonies?
I didn't watch them and I have no idea what's going on.
Well,
I know literally nothing about them.
Well, literally the fat and skinny is the big opening ceremonies were real transvestite cross-dressing. They even recreated the Last Supper with all he she's.
Well, what do you expect? I mean,
but it was like the real in your faces.
Well, that's just kind of the French people for you.
Yeah. I think there's an agenda behind
a
lot of stuff.
Is. I don't know. I didn't watch it. I didn't even know the Olympics was going on this year, to be honest. Yeah. And then yesterday we were at this Korean restaurant. I was with my wife and her brother, and she was like, "Oh, Germany's winning," and it was a swimming event. I was like, since when do you care about swimming? I was like, I've never once heard you say, "Man, I can't wait to watch the German swim team." And she goes, "It's the Olympics," and I was like, "It's the Olympics?" She was like, "Yeah." I was like, when did the Olympics start?
One thing that kind of pisses me off is I'd always tune in because the Summer Olympics would tune in for the girls volleyball.
Oh yeah,
because they're great competitors, right?
Yeah,
I mean, what I mean,
yeah,
they're fucking just
no,
amazing.
Yeah,
I mean, they're great. I mean, that's for competition, right? They're making them wear like leggings now instead of their little Speedo shorts.
Really?
Yeah, they're wearing leggings now, fully covered.
Casey's like, they're still great competitors. I'm just not going to watch now.
I'm just, it's probably some kind of a competitive edge is why they're wearing it for.
Yeah, I don't know. No, dude, the women's rugby is one of my favorite events to watch. I mean,
I watched rugby yesterday a little bit.
The men's rugby is good. I actually had a few people that listen to the show hit me up. Do you mind?
Dude, I'm trying to get back to live.
The men's rugby is good rugby, and I actually had a few listeners hit me up and ask questions about rugby, which I thought was kind of cool. But the women's rugby, dude, women's rugby sevens is freaking rough, man. They are brutal. So that's always a fun one to watch. I think that's more fun to watch than the men's Olympic rugby.
I never really watched rugby until yesterday.
Yeah.
And just for the short time. And I was wondering why they were just running and they dove across the line. So it's got like a touchdown. Then they kick field goals. Is that the idea?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's called a try. That's the touchdown. And the reason they call it touchdown in football is because in rugby, you have to touch the ball to the ground. And then wherever you touch it at, that's where you have to kick from.
Right.
Like you kick it from the 10 or 20 the 20 meter line. And so you touch it down. So if you touch it down in the corner, you got to kick from the side of the field. But so they try to get it in the center so you can have a nice straight easy kick.
Oh yeah, because I noticed whenever, I don't know if he scored a point or whatever it was, but when they kicked through the upright deals, they kicked it from an angle. It's like a 35% angle or something.
Yeah. That's dependent upon where they touch it down at.
Oh, so if they okay.
Yeah.
So when they cross the end zone and put whatever, that's where they have to try to kick the ball through.
Yeah, from that kind of angle.
But does crossing the end zone count as a point?
No.
Oh.
So you can still like you could be in the end zone, but if they like, let's say the other team strips the ball from you, or they knock it out of your hand and you don't touch it down, you don't get the point.
So points only get scored if they kick it through the uprights?
No, points get scored if you touch the ball on the ground. That's 5 points. And then you kick the field goal, and that's 2 points.
But you have to touch the ball in the ground in the end zone area.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have to touch it down.
So like the guy.
So like you'll see guys like they'll dive. Like if you get a guy with a good break, he'll go through. But like, and sometimes you'll see them too. They'll be standing in the end zone. Like if they're trying to run the clock down,
right?
They'll run the ball, and then like they might outrun everybody.
Yeah.
Well, they'll just stand there and they'll let that clock run until somebody runs up, and then they'll touch it down at last second.
Yeah, I used to do that on a Tecmo Bowl back in the day.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd have Bo Jackson, and I would run, all the way, laterally or whatever across the field. Then I'd run all the way around the defense and run circles, and I'd run back to run out the clock, and I'd run back towards the end zone. Then I'd run all the way back down the field. I mean, you could run out, the whole score or the whole time with Bo Jackson.
Yeah, exactly.
Nobody could catch him.
Bo Jackson. Yeah, because he's black.
Do you ever know how badass Bo Jackson was?
Well, he was the one that played both sports, right?
Yeah, there's some others did it. Deion Sanders did it. Even Michael Jordan did it. Basketball,
but I mean,
baseball.
he was like the one that like really was big for playing baseball and football, right?
Probably the best athlete ever. Yeah. Stud.
So Ben Parmoy says there was a protest last year from the women's Summer Olympics about why men got to wear shorts and women had to wear little bikini bottoms.
You want viewership up? I mean, seriously. I mean, girls basketball is wondering why, they can't bring in revenue, right?
Yes.
They could probably start bringing in more revenue if they get rid of wearing the jams. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna leave that topic there for the ether for anyone. I mean, I hear what you're saying, yes, but I guess it could be their option. I mean,
or they can get in.
If I'm on the beach, I don't want to wear pants, dude. I'd rather wear a Speedo.
Yeah.
I don't want. That's just less sand in your crack.
I told my wife if I was built like a brick shit house, I'd have been sporting a Speedo the whole time on the trip. You know what I mean?
You should have. On the D&D cruise, man. We get some D&D banana hammocks.
Yeah.
We'll just do that. Kind of like I said, like the Creed cruise or like some of these other music cruises they do. We can do a joint fading fast, dirty and driven.
Yeah.
But I think for us, we need to do a riverboat cruise. I don't think we're quite classy enough for like a Caribbean cruise. I think it needs to be like a a riverboat cruise that takes you to like some really shitty casinos, like in the bayou. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, the riverboats are casinos.
A lot of times, yeah. And like,
Yeah.
I think it's Missouri where gambling's not legal, but if you're on the river, it is.
Yeah, they'll cut the river to and make a little creek going over to where the casino is.
Yeah.
And all right, we're on the river now.
Yeah.
So you're talking about the river boats that had the paddle wheels on it or whatever in the back, the old school ones.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
sweet.
Yeah. Yeah. Cruise the river, or they even have just like river cruises where it's like cruise ships. Like whenever Victoria lived in New Orleans, some of the smaller Carnival cruises, you'd actually see them come and dock in New Orleans because she lived right by the port, which is pretty cool. So you could see some of those cruise ships coming in.
Yeah, we went out 2 years ago out of New Orleans on the Carnival Valor.
Yeah.
So we cruise out of there. So we're familiar with.
I think that would be more our speed because, I mean, you know, I think we'd probably get a different crop of people than what you might get on a Caribbean cruise. Classier, wilder, and I think New Orleans would really fit the vibe of our clientele.
Yeah, kind of sweatier, maybe not wearing deodorant.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and swamp ass,
dude. Talking about stereotypes, because I just tried to stereotype New Orleans, right? You know what I mean? With the sweaty, swampy.
Oh yeah.
Anytime we talk, we made a real effort on anywhere we went to reach out, to talk to the Uber drivers or talk to the people we were hanging out with, on the cruise.
Yeah.
And anytime we'd say where we were from, what do you think the majority response was from the people we were talking to?
What's that?
If someone says, "Hey, where are you from?" and I say, "Oh, we're from Oklahoma," what do you think they would say next?
Oh, you still riding a horse? You still live in teepees?
Or what else is Oklahoma known for? I mean, just especially right now. What I was in the newspaper for.
Oh, Twisters?
Yes. Dude, almost 100% of the people we talked to when we said, they're like, "Oh, we're from Maryland. We're from Virginia Beach." And we go, "Oh, we're from Oklahoma." They go, "Oh my God, tornadoes." Dude, it was tornado every single time.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you tell them, "Oh, have you seen the movie Twisters? I'm kind of a big deal on that."
Nah, didn't say that. One time, whenever we got off the cruise ship at port in Miami, one of the, not the TSA, one of the Port Authority guys that was working, making sure that you weren't bringing any stuff, off the boat back in, because you had to show your passports and all that. I had to go use the restroom, and that guy started talking with my wife, one of the workers, and he goes, "Oh, from Oklahoma, because you seen Twisters?" And then my wife's like, "Oh yeah, actually, he worked on the original." He's like, "No crap." And then she also said, also he and his buddy had this podcast called Dirty and Driven, and this guy, he was a younger guy that worked for him. He goes, "Are you serious?" Because he was thinking I was like a big celebrity. And so sure enough, he pulled it up, Dirty and Driven, and it was my picture, you and me, and it was my picture, and he couldn't believe that he had just met me. So when I came out of the pisser and I heard about this, he already he had his camera ready to take a picture. He goes, "Is it okay if I take a picture with you?"
No shit.
I go, "Yeah, dude." And he goes, and so he's going to listen to it. So shout out to you. I can't remember what your name was.
Shout out to you, man.
Well, he's a nice guy, man.
I love that, dude. Well, shout out to you, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to you. That's cool, man. Welcome to the show. Dude, I felt like that a couple weeks ago. We played 2 shows in a row, and like there's all these little kids there, and they were having us like sign their rubber ducks and stuff. They were like running up on the stage in the middle of songs and like asking us to sign their rubber ducks. One guy asked us to sign a Zen can. I was like, "Is this what a celebrity feels like?"
Dude, I still have 2 of my Zen cans in my console of my truck from when I originally bought them.
Yeah.
You remember I bought it initially and I got lightheaded. I said, "Fuck it."
Yeah.
Well, then a month or 2 later, I thought that was just a one-off. So I bought another Zen, can, the lower grade.
Yeah.
Tried one, fucked me up. So both, they're still sitting there probably like dry as hell. But
you and I have that same story, dude. They're still sitting in, I think I gave the 6 milligram one away, but I think I still have the 3.
Yeah, man.
Sitting somewhere because I bought them for, I buy them for my wife's work events because I have a really hard time at those.
Have you seen the deals to where the guys will on TikTok? It's cruel, but they'll like catch a bass or some type of fish, and they'll take like a Zen packet and they'll stick it underneath his lip, underneath his tongue, and then close his mouth and let it get inside of his saliva for a bit. Or they'll be drinking beer or a shot or something, and they'll take the fish that they just caught and they'll take a swig, then they'll pour it in his mouth.
That's the most like frat boy Patagonia Columbia shirt wearing.
I saw one where they did a shot to where they caught a largemouth bass that had a pretty big mouth, obviously. And then they took the beer that they were drinking, they poured it into the bass's mouth. Then they picked the bass up, took a shot out of his mouth.
Ew. That's disgusting.
Come on, man.
That's nasty, dude. I wouldn't do that. Hell no, I wouldn't do that. Oh, shit, man. Also at that show, we had a lady cuss us out and flip us off and leave because we didn't play Co-Wetzel.
Oh, yeah. I heard about that.
Yeah.
So
that was wild.
So build it up. Let's hear it. Is that it?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'll kind of tell the story. I've told it. You know, whenever you tell a story so many times, you kind of get tired of telling a story. That's
tell it while I'm taking a piss. I kind of know it.
Oh, what? You're gonna go take a piss? So I gotta tell the story?
Yeah.
Oh shit! I ain't tell the story then.
Come on, man. Come on.
Oh, your wife said I need to ask about the celebrity you met. Oh, hurry up and take a piss.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's good.
All right. Well, YouTube Live, for the few of you that are still on here, while Casey's taking a piss, I'm just gonna ramble. Unless you guys are doing something. What's up, YouTube? You guys doing anything over there? Melody is. Melody's always busy, always supportive. Appreciate you, Melody. Oh man, you know, people always say that like if walls could talk, like when referring to their house, like their childhood homes. If walls could talk, they'd have so many stories. Well, after being in the hospitality business, owning Airbnbs, owning rent houses, I've decided that if walls could talk, I would probably tell them to shut the fuck up. I would be so tired of the stories that they tell me about these places because I am learning more and more that human beings are disgusting and people die inside houses. So, anyways, who's the celeb you met?
All right. To build this story up, we had just gotten off it was rough getting back from the cruise. We finally had our taste of layovers, and not layovers, but delays.
Mm-hmm.
And my wife jinxed us because whenever we were on our taxi ride from the cruise ship to the Miami airport, we had talked about how smooth the trip had went.
Yeah.
No issue. I mean, everything was just so perfect. And whenever we flew out of Miami, we actually had a connecting flight in Dallas, Fort Worth to get back to Tulsa. Well, whenever we get to, and we had about a 55-minute layover in Tulsa. So when we get to the Miami airport, we see that our flight that we're on had been delayed a little bit, probably about 30 minutes. So that was really getting to our connecting flight because I had a pretty tight connecting flight. Well, I'll try to speed this thing up. So we get on the plane, sit there. It's hot, dude. We're on the tarmac, dude, and there's no air conditioning. They haven't, a lot of times only when you get in the air conditioning really works. So we're sitting there, and I hate heat, when I can't move, especially when I'm in a sardine can.
Yeah. Well,
we're waiting, and then they come out and they said that they have an IT problem, and we're still sitting there waiting. And they're still having issues with IT issues with all these airlines. So we're waiting. Like 45 minutes later, while we're sitting on the plane, they close the cargo door, getting ready to go, and then they say, "Boom!" They go, "Ladies and gentlemen, we have just detected an alarm, and it shows cargo door alarm showing. So we need to get some mechanics out here to check out our cargo door alarm open. So in the meantime, I have just timed out on my flight time as a pilot.
Yep, been there.
So I'm going to have to go ahead and get off, and we're going to have to go ahead and find you another pilot." So this is after an hour and a half waiting on the plane on the tarmac with no AC.
Yep.
We're like, what the? So we've already missed our connecting flight. Now, granted, this is first world problems, okay?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's kind of what I was thinking to myself, like, it is what it is. It taught me and my wife, she was a saint, a lot about patience. When you control the controllables.
Oh, yeah.
I could have went up and fucking cussed out the stewardess, and it would have done zero good and probably got me thrown in jail. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was just eating it. And dude, we're hating it. We're sweating. Beads of sweat are rolling off our face. So fortunately, they let us deboard and get off the plane until they went and found some pilots on standby to come back. When we got back on, we got ready to go again. And then we had to wait for another 30 or 45 minutes because I needed the proper paperwork. And they're like, please bear with us. I know you all are ready to go, but trust me, once we get this paperwork for this plane, it'll make things a lot easier. Anyway, we take off, we get to Dallas, and while we're in Dallas, we hit our connecting flight. So anyway, to the celebrity that I met, and some people might think this is a celebrity, some people might not, but we land in Tulsa, go to the little baggage claim area, and while I'm in the baggage claim area, the baggage is coming off, and there's people that have bags like, golf club bags that are coming off, the old little deal where the baggage rolls around.
Yeah.
No, somebody's a fucking golfer. Oh, somebody's this, somebody's that. Then I noticed this one, and dude, it was like 9 or 10 foot long bag, real skinny. And the guy grabbed it, and I was like, who the fuck brings fishing poles on a fucking trip? You better be I was just kind of thinking to myself like that. Then I look over, and this is who I saw.
I don't know who that
That's
is.
If anybody's watching or whatever, that's the 2016 Bassmaster Classic champion winner. He's also the Major League Fishing winner time and time again. Edwin Evers.
Edwin Evers.
From not Talala, Oklahoma, maybe. Over there by Lake Oologah.
Yeah.
Dude, he's probably the top 5 of all time Bassmaster elite fisherman. Big man. So anyway, I thought to myself, who the fuck brings fish poles? You better be a stud. You know what I mean? Not some homeboy, not some geek off the street.
Oh, sure enough, he is a stud.
And I looked, dude. I looked across and I go, dude, that's fucking Edward Evers. And I hadn't thought about, Bassmaster like fishing or anything like that for a year or two. I haven't really been following it close. So I said, fuck it. So I walked over. I said, you know what? To hell with it. And I walked up to him. I said, hey, man, are you Edwin Evers? And he looked and goes, yeah. I go, hey, man. I go, my name's Casey Anderson. I reached my hand out. I go, dude, I'm because I am, man. He's a local guy. Big fan of yours.
He goes, you think I'm going to shake your hand?
Nah, he was great. He was great. So I go, do you mind if I get a picture with you? And he's like, yeah, man. So we took that picture and we small talked for a bit. And he asked, kind of what we'd been up to. And I said, we just got off cruise, this and that. We finally got away from the kids. This is our first trip away from the kids. And he goes, yeah. He goes, me and my wife, this is our first trip away from our family in a long time, too. We're just getting back. And he asked what I did. And I told him, work for an energy company for the pipeline and stuff. And then my wife, Melody, walked up. I introduced her to him and small talk for a bit. But kind of cool, man.
That was cool. That was always neat whenever you can meet people like that.
Yeah. I mean, I know that they probably, fuck another fanboy.
So some people like that and some people hate that.
Yeah, but
you know what I mean?
It was cool, man.
Like sometimes it's cool, sometimes it's like, I don't know. Some people love it and some people hate it.
Yeah. And you have that one thought saying, do I want to be the douchebag that walks up? But then you have the other one saying, if I didn't do it,
yeah,
what might have been?
Yeah. No, anyways, hey, quick word from our sponsors, us, me and Casey, and then we'll actually we got a little bit of time. We'll actually dive into a little bit of a actual topic for the listener. We've just kind of been catching up on life because that's what me and Casey do. Me and Casey, we have this podcast for us, and if you don't like it, you don't have to listen to it. If it bores you, or if you don't like to hear about our lives, then go somewhere else. Because this is what we do.
What other blue collar podcast is doing a live on the Sabbath? Is that
Sabbath?
Is that right?
Yeah. Who else is bringing you the blue collar church?
Yeah, going live on the Sabbath, but then we will post the actual video 2 days after.
Yeah, exactly.
So
yeah. Yeah, who else doing that, man? So we're just, we're catching up, man. We like doing it, and the podcast has changed a little bit. It's gone through different iterations throughout the years, and that's because we've changed a little bit throughout the years, and
yeah. And you said we're catching up, and I was thinking about that's what they claimed that Trump did when he supposedly got shot. He actually had ketchup that he put on his ear.
Well,
That's what.
fake blood.
Yeah. Yeah.
Corn syrup.
False flag
Corn syrup and dye.
and sugar.
Yeah.
Well, I guess corn syrup is sugar.
That's high fructose corn syrup.
Damn. You got me on that one.
Oh, yeah. I don't even still know really what corn syrup is. I guess it's where you squeeze your corn.
Until the
Get the
syrup comes out.
Yeah. Oh, man. No. Any Oklahoma City listeners, I just want to tell you, Fading Fast playing a show, Core 4 Brewing, this coming Saturday, August 3rd, 7 p.m. So,
And where's that at?
in Oklahoma City. It's over on, I don't know, it's by the Jones Assembly, if you're familiar with that area. That's a pretty big music spot. But yeah, we're playing there. So excited about that. And then, dude, September, we've got like a whole tour lined out. We've got a shitload of shows in September. So Kansas, Oklahoma, we're moving around, man.
So you're getting out of the 580?
Getting out of the 580, man. We got some music festivals. We got quite a few shows at new places. So if you're into that kind of thing, check us out or just stream our music, man. We'd appreciate you streaming it and sharing it just like we do this show. Last week we had a few people actually share the fucking show, and I was very happy about that. We had several show shares last week, and I have to say thank you guys for sharing the show because most of you don't.
Yeah, I've noticed if we just come out and fucking say it, if we guilt people, then it works.
Casey and I both have families and animals and dogs, cats. Casey's got grandchildren. I've got a wife who just had surgery and, a little brother and a starving band of musicians and starving construction workers. And we're just trying to put good quality stuff out into the world for you guys. And if you cannot so much as share the damn show, what are you even doing?
Yeah, think about all of our dependents.
Yes.
Think about Osiris the turtle.
Yeah.
That's dependent on me to bring home the bread.
That's dependent on Casey to build a diamond-studded, gold-laced swimming pool so he can stay cool in the summer months.
That's right.
And we can't do that if you don't share the show.
Pretty simple.
Pretty simple.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't get any more simple than that. So,
and if you're in fear of losing your job, and HR comes up and they said that, hey, you shared this show and that's it, we don't condone that, reach out to us.
just know that you're a martyr.
We're actually on the second floor of a law firm. We have legal representation to help you keep your job from wrongful termination.
Yeah. I mean, if you lose your job because you share the show or because you give us a review, I mean, I get it, man. I mean, in today's day and age, in today's political climate, this is a dangerous show. In fact, Casey and I have to hire armed security guards to follow us around everywhere we go. It's exhausting.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah.
Because of the people that are after us.
Fortunately, our security is so good, but unfortunately, our security should have been there during the attempted assassination of Trump.
Yeah, it would have been probably better.
But they were protecting us.
They were protecting us, man, because they know that we're heavy targets, man.
I mean, I look out this window right here, and we're in the line of sight. People could be on that tower over there at the refinery and get us.
I mean, there's
Oh,
several.
look at that tall one right there. That's an old elevator shaft.
There's several flat rooftops right across the street from our studio.
Oh,
but these are bulletproof windows.
yeah, but if those rooftops have a 112 or more incline, then they won't put Secret Service on them because it's too steep.
Right.
You know how much 112 incline is?
Not much.
For every foot you go in, it's elevation of 1 inch. And that's what she was saying, dude. The Secret Service, which luckily she stepped down, but you take your hand like this, watch. That's a 112 pitch. That is literally a 112 pitch right there.
Yeah.
Oh, well, no, it's too steep. We didn't want to endanger our Secret Service people. So.
Yeah. So anyway, share the show. Private security is expensive. And we're just trying to help spread the knowledge in the blue collar world. So I don't know. With that being said, we can actually talk about something of somewhat of value. People do like it when we talk about things of value. So we will talk about a few things of value. But we're just having fun. A couple buddies catching up after a couple wild weeks. So,
Hiatus.
hiatus. Hiatus to us, to the listeners, they notice no difference.
Yeah.
But thanks for sharing to everybody who has shared. Seriously, that,
Yeah.
that does mean a lot whenever you share the show to us. Dude, I've got to say, after seeing all these people go down, that's kind of, earlier in the, after seeing 3 people go down, I had to go to the hospital, and then another guy literally die that are construction workers.
Yeah.
I talk about do something hard a lot, right? I think every now and then I think it's just important to talk about why you should do something hard. And I think this is a good show for that, especially if you're new here or, this is the first episode you listen to. If this is the first episode you've listened to, you've probably already tuned out, but that's okay. But no, man, I think it's really important to go out and do hard stuff because life is going to challenge you and your job is going to challenge you and your work is going to challenge you. The elements are going to challenge you and you have to prepare for that. So if you want to not go down whenever it's 100 and some odd degrees outside, but you got to work and you got to work in the heat and you've got to work in those elements, or whenever it's -5 degrees outside, you've got to train for that. And to be honest with you, the 4 people that I've seen either go to the hospital for heat or die, literally, that work in the construction industry are not people who are in very good shape. They only eat meals from gas stations. They eat a lot. They drink a lot at night. They don't hydrate enough. They don't work out ever. And that catches up to you whenever you start getting into some of these hard climates, summer months. It makes a big difference. If you train for it and you prepare for it in your body, I'm not saying you got to be jacked, chiseled, ultra runner, bodybuilder. I'm just saying you need to have some level of physical fitness and some level of training behind you. Otherwise, you're going to create problems for yourself. And, dude, another thing, someone in my family went on that Japan trip, right? They don't ever walk that much. Well, they went and walked a whole bunch during that whole trip, and they swelled up like a balloon, man, because they don't ever walk. And then now all of a sudden they're walking miles a day.
Yeah.
Well, guess what?
Yeah.
Your body's not used to that. So it causes adverse reactions whenever you start doing that kind of stuff. So it's important to prepare for those kinds of things.
Yeah. I think we were before. I know it's not work, but it goes back to my little cruise deal. I think we were subconsciously or indirectly preparing for the climate there because fortunately in Oklahoma, we've had high humidity and stuff. And like I said, when we went there, it was almost like we were still in Ponca City. Mm-hmm. So we were fortunate enough to be acclimated to that type of weather. And to go with what you said about someone preparing like to work situations, in shape or not in shape, or eating the right food or not. Let's say you didn't do any of that. Let's say you didn't do shit at all and you're in that situation. Do know the telltale signs when you start to get to a certain oh shit moment.
Yeah.
Kind of like, it goes back to me again. I mean, this is all from personal experience, but I'm talking about, and I have a bunch of other examples, but just to reference back to my stupid fucking cruise. Whenever I felt my little cramps coming on, I know the telltale signs of something getting ready to fucking happen, dude. And that's when I like, whoa, let's slow down. I need to get water immediately. I need to get electrolytes immediately. Let's not press it. Let's get somewhere cool. And that's the same way with you're at work. If you find yourself in that situation, and you could be in the best shape in the world, but let's say your heart rate has it went up to 140, 150, 160. You can't get that thing down. And you know that, dude, you're about to redline, man. Mm-hmm. Before something obviously bad happens to yourself or to your crew around you, man, try to get out of that situation, cool down, get some water, try to just know the telltale signs of.
Dude, I have to tell people, don't be too much of a man, because like some people, they don't want to be made fun of. Like they go to work and they say, they go to their boss and they say, oh, I'm not feeling too great. oh, quit being a pussy, da 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 da. I mean, then they just suck it up and keep going. Well, okay. And sometimes that works. Like we talked about earlier, you're at work, you're sick, you've got the flu or a cold, something like that. You can suck it up a little bit. But if you're out in the heat, dude, and you can tell that something's seriously wrong, you need to get out of the heat. I mean, you need to speak up and say, no, I'm being for real here. Like something's wrong and I need to go sit down. And it may be because you're out of shape, but you still cannot push your body past your physical limits.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're going to go down.
Dude, I just read a deal that what Ben Parmalee said. He said he had 3 guys under 30 last year with gallstones, I assume gallbladder stones, from smashing energy drinks all day and no water.
I believe that, dude.
Which I didn't. I mean, I don't know what causes gallstones, but that sounds like was it PSA to not smash energy drinks and not drink any water?
I guess.
And drink more water, I guess.
Drink more water and less energy drinks. Dude, some of those energy drinks too are pretty rough, and they're expensive. But yeah, man, like caffeine's a dehydrator. I mean, I drink my coffee every day. If I'm to the point where I pretty much only have 1 cup, and it's usually before I get outside. And again, I'm not outside all day, every day anymore. But the days that I am, dude, it's hard to even drink half a cup because, you get out there and it's hot and you're like, yeah. If it's iced, it's a little easier, but still, it's just better to just switch to water. But I think that the biggest thing people can do for themselves is physical fitness. I mean, you can go and you can just, as simple as going for a walk every day outside of work, not at work. One argument I hear a lot from blue collar people is, oh, I work out all the time whenever I'm out in the field. It's physically hard. It's like, yes, but you're burning calories and you're being active, which is great. And that's a great lifestyle. An active lifestyle is great, but it's really good to try and do things outside of work that are going to push your muscles and, get your heart rate up outside of just work. Because like I can tell you in the asphalt business, like, okay, yeah, you have times where you're shoveling a lot and you do have days where it's physically hard, but a lot of times you're just in the heat and you're not really physically exerting yourself that much. You're just in the heat because, like, let's say you're holding a stop and slow sign. You're standing in the same spot all day long in the heat. Or if you're on a roller or if you're running a paver, you're not really being that active overall the whole day. I mean, you have periods where you get off and you shovel and you're fairly active, but like if you're on a big mainline highway job or a roadway job or something like that, you're very stagnant all day. If you're an earth moving contractor and you're on a freaking open cab packer or dozer all day, you're very stagnant all day long. I mean, you feel like you're active because you're in the heat, but you're very stagnant and you're not actually exerting yourself as much as you think.
Yeah.
Now there are trades that do that, obviously, but it's still good just to just walk, dude. It's as simple as just going for a walk every day. Maybe go for a run. Just get yourself in the heat, get acclimated, do this stuff in the springtime and the fall time whenever you're not working as many hours. So that way you can start acclimating for it, because you go from wintertime, for example, where it's not hot and it gets dark at 5 p.m. And if you're working outside, so now you're really working probably 8 to 4 or 5. By the time you actually get to work, get started, get going, 7 or 8 to 5. And then now in the summertime, if you're in a trade like I am, that, you got to bust ass in the summer, you might be working 6:30 to 9 p.m. That's a lot of extra hours in the day that you're now pushing yourself into, and you're just doing it cold, essentially, just going into it. I mean, imagine training for a marathon or running a marathon, but not doing any training for it. Yeah. You probably hurt yourself pretty bad. And that's kind of what a lot of people do.
Yeah. Functional training is very good. Instead of, you can go to the gym, do some curls and bench press, but try to do stuff that you'll actually use in real life movements. Yeah. That'll help you. Yeah. And then get it to where if you're used to walking X amount, try to push yourself a little bit more to where, you get that heart rate up, get your body guessing. Always keep your body guessing. That's one thing, I always talk about back in my day, but back when I used to work out, it was always go in, like, let's say we're doing chest day. The typical chest day workout would have been stretch, do flat bench, then do incline, then do decline, maybe some dips, maybe some triceps. So then if you get into the routine to where each time that you go to do chest day or something, your body's going to, oh, here comes Casey. I think I mentioned before, he's going to do flat bench. He's going to go do incline. Dude, if you button hook your body and hit it with an incline first, and it's like, oh shit, what the fuck? Then, I was doing dips now, then decline, then flat bench. Dude, keep your body guessing, man. Does good.
Yeah. No, it's cool, man. Yeah. I mean, it's not that hard to just, do something hard. You know what I'm saying? Like just intentionally get your heart rate up every day. Someone in here's talking about roofing. I mean, roofing's a physical job, man. That's a real physical. That's probably one of the most physical jobs.
I think if you put top of the food chain, especially ladder, more than a damn 112 pitch, like roofing, you could literally unless if it was real hot out, you could walk an 812 pitch. That was about the most you can walk on roofing. And just to give an idea, a 1212 is a 45-degree angle, so 812 is just less than that. Yeah, so you're walking incline, your legs, you're humping shingles, you're tearing off, you're doing all types of you're picking up shit off the ground and bushes, hauling tarps. Yeah, and he also said pickle juice is good, which pickle juice, damn good. I mean, I think it's pretty much just got sodium in it.
Yeah,
but still,
hey, those salts help you retain water, man. If you're out there and because drinking too much water with no salts, no electrolytes, I mean, that can be dangerous too.
And I think I've had that problem in the past. Like recently, I was talking with my wife about. I was trying to figure out, why do I still cramp? And sometimes I think I might get my electrolytes in, but I might drink too much if I'm not physically active. Mm-hmm. Let's say I'm having just a slack day, I might drink too much water to where it's actually flushing out the good electrolytes. So, man, it's finding that balance.
Yeah, you got to get some electrolytes in there too, man. Like I drink a gallon of water a day, but if it's a day where I'm not doing much, I mean, yeah, I've got to
back off.
I'll feel dehydrated, but I've drank a shitload of water, but what I need is electrolytes.
Yeah, man. I still wish there was, and I kind of got it. I ordered some piss strip test deals. No, seriously, you could pee on it, but it was like a pH deal. I think one of them is a pH deal to let you know if you're acidic or alkaline, to let you know if you need more or less. But also they had these one strips that hopefully would tell you what you're lacking, but that's in your piss stream. I don't know. I wish there was seriously multi-billion-dollar idea right here to where you could have a real time at the work rate that you're going right now, like right now at the work rate that you're going, or maybe your projected work rate that's going to happen, to let you know, hey, if you keep going at this pace, James, you need to get X amount of potassium milligrams in your system, X amount of sodiums, X amount of, magnesium, all that shit right now at this rate, or the deficit that you're in. You need to hurry up and get it in here. You're going to be redlining.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you could pee on a strip and it could tell you if you need magnesium, if you need sodium, if you need potassium, if you're pregnant, and
yeah, it could
if you're gonna fail your drug test.
Yeah, it could encompass all that.
Yeah.
Do you remember whenever they were trying to come up with ideas to detect for COVID, and then in China, wherever they came up with the old anal test? Did you ever hear about that?
I saw memes about it.
It was real.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know how that.
Shove this up your ass and I'll tell you what you need.
I'd go for that.
You've got too much magnesium. Yeah, I know.
Too much something else. You should have wiped better. It says that. You should have wiped better on it.
Yeah. It just says ew. No, dude, I think that it's important to do that stuff. And like also whenever you're out there working in this kind of elements, if you're working while you're sick, if you're working in the heat, dude, you got to watch what you eat too. Like if you're eating greasy fucking gas station pizza and you're out there and you already feel queasy and you don't feel good and it's hot, don't eat that.
Yeah.
Eat an apple.
Okay. I'm going to go back to, I'm going to do just hopefully a quick little story on this. But when we were in the Bahamas, I wanted to get conch salad. Have you ever had conch salad?
Yeah.
Well, I'd seen it, but I wanted to do like the authentic, real deal, fresh conch straight from the ocean. And if anybody's not familiar with conch, I call it conch. And my wife corrected me and said, no, it's conch. But it's those real pretty seashells. And they have like this little conch guy that's in there. And he's like a little snail. And so we went to this, dude, it was literally authentic. We recorded the whole deal, dude, badass. And the guy, he said, oh, all right, man. It's kind of Jamaican accent, but Bohemian. He goes, do you want one conch salad or two? We'll take two. We'll take one spicy and one not.
Stick my conch in your salad.
And let me preface this with, we knew eating this fresh vegetable salad that we were going to feel way better than eating greasy fucking food. That's why I'm tying this into what you just said with the greasy pizza. Yeah. We knew eating this, we wouldn't feel all blah and greasy. But let me tell you the story about this conch deal. It's pretty kick ass. He takes it. We didn't want to just order it from a restaurant and it come out. We wanted to see it basically from, it being caught to eating it, right? He had like 5 shells on a stringer. They like poked a hole in each one of these big ass conch shells, and it's like, it's like if you're holding your fish up, but they were the shells. And right there in front of us, my wife was recording it. He takes a claw hammer and taps the top of the shell, tap 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 tap, and then he takes out a knife, and inside the shell he cuts in there, and he's cutting basically the conch guy out of the snail out of the shell. Then once he cuts inside that hole that he made with the old claw hammer, he reaches in and pulls out this fresh, like alien-looking snail is what it is. Yeah. And once he pulls it out, then he takes his knife, and I guess they only have one claw on him, okay? Okay. And this claw, that's how it helps crawl around, is this one claw. Mm-hmm. And he cuts the claw off, cuts his face off, the eyes and the nose and shit, cuts off a hard piece, throws into a bucket of water. He did that 5 times. Then after that, he goes up and has fresh celery, fresh cucumber, fresh onions, fresh tomato, chops, dices it all. Dude, this was a 30 or 40 minute process just for us two. It cost $15 a piece.
Really? It was that long of a deal, huh?
Yeah, wow. But it was great. So then we drank, God damn it, I can't remember what the beer was, but it's the Bohemian beer. But Kalik, K-A-L-I-K, that's the Bohemian beer.
I was going to guess Rhapsody, but.
Kalik. So while we're talking, we're shooting the shit about anything and everything. I've got 2 cats. Yeah, you all got animals. I've got 2 cats. One was Whitey, and the other one was Garfield. And the Whitey, it was funny because there was this black dude talking about his cat Whitey. But anyway, he gets done dicing up all of the vegetables and stuff, and he dices up all of the conch, right? Yeah. Throws it in the deals, and then cuts up fresh lime and fresh oranges and squeezes a piss pot of orange and lime in there. And on the spicy one, he ends up dicing up a pepper for my wife and puts it in there, throws it all together. And anyway, we ate that fresh stuff, and we didn't feel for one, we were full as fuck, but we didn't feel bloated and all dragging ass because it was nothing but fresh vegetables, just fresh stuff. Yeah. Non-fried. Yeah. Okay. And I got to tell the story. I got to tell this because this ties into when we were done. We're like, hey, we need a taxi ride back to the boat. Can you help us get one? He goes, yeah, man, you follow me, man. So he walks out, and it's right at the bridge that goes over towards Paradise Island, and it's a real busy area. And he goes, come on, you follow me, man. It is. And so we follow him across the road to this parking lot, and there's this car sitting there. And he goes, this guy, my friend right here will take care of you. Take them back to the cruise ship. We're like, all right, cool. So we get in, and when we open the doors, it smells like fucking weed inside of the car. Yeah. And this guy is blasting some shit, and he goes, all right, you're going back to the cruise ship? And we're like, yeah. He goes, all right, I got you. And we're listening, and he's got the music bumping, and he's kind of, lean. They drive on the right side, the steering wheel's on the right side, and they're driving the wrong side of the road. And when we're listening to that music there, I go, oh, man, is that Snoop Dogg? He goes, no, man, it's Kendrick Lamar, man. Kendrick Lamar. I go, okay, man, this is some good shit. I go, and I didn't tell him, but I started recording. I just, because he was like just a stereotypical what you would think, from that area. Just listening to him and talking, it was great. So we start talking to, and he puts on a hat, and it's an NBA hat. It's Detroit Pistons. So I figured I'd small talk sports with him. I go, hey, man, you like basketball? Oh, man, I like basketball. Yeah, man, I like this. I like the Miami Heat, and I like the Los Angeles Lakers. I go, I like the Lakers from back in the day, the Lakers and the Pistons, and then so we started small talking that. And he goes, yeah, man, and he goes, yeah, and then he talks about Bill Lambert used to play for them, and then he talked about it. He goes, and Mark McGuire played for the Houston Rockets. I was like, I go, nah, dude. I go, Mark McGuire he played baseball, man. No, man, he was the center. He played for the Houston Rockets, man. I go, Mark McGuire, Yeah, man, I got it on video. Nah, dude. Unless this is a one-off, dude. Never, dude. He was part of the Bash Brothers, him and Jose Canseco with the Oakland Athletics. No, man. So we get back to the straw market, which the straw market is right there by the cruise port. And right when we get there, and he turns, these are one-way streets, real tight, old historic areas. Right when he turns, he goes. We go, how much? He goes, oh, $20. And then my wife got the cash out. He goes, hey, if you would keep that down, because there were cops up there. And that's when we realized we weren't in a taxi like a real licensed taxi. We were just in a dude's fucking car. I ain't shit. I got it all on video, man. So he goes, and we go like, all right, cool, we'll keep it down. He goes, yeah, man, keep it down. So then we pull up, and these cops that are kind of staying on the side of the road, they're letting cars go by, right? And we're in the back seat. The cops walk up, and this one guy, he taps with his, he has his flashlight, and he taps on the driver's side window. Tap, 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 tap. Roll down the window. And he rolls it down. He goes, what are you doing? And he goes, oh, man, then he sees a couple whiteys, Americans in the back, you know what I mean? And he had me roll down the window. He goes, what do you do? He goes, how do you know this man? Because there were reports before we went about travelers advisories about people getting killed and shit.
Oh shit.
And I was sticking up. I go, oh, we met him down at Calvin's conch shop. We were eating and having a few drinks, and he said he'd give us a ride. But no, man, he can't. And then he went to the front. He goes, where's your taxi license? He goes, where's your license? He goes, no, man. He goes, you pull up over there. And we're like, oh shit, dude.
You have this on video?
That small part, I stopped recording. That small, dude, you'll see. Right, I got the before. I got everything built up to it, and right, because I didn't want to have the fucking camera at this.
Dude, send me the video.
Yeah, at this.
What video you have? Please send it to me.
With the Bohemian Police, because I didn't want to be, because I knew my wife and I might be, you know what I mean. Who knew what was going to happen? So we pull over, and when we pull over, dude, he is giving this guy an ear beating. You know you can't, and it smells like fucking weed in the car anyway. And my wife. And before she goes, hey, I'm tucking your money in the back seat. She told him that way, if anything happened, he still got paid for getting us a ride. And she did. She stuck it in the crease of the back seat. So when we pull up, he's giving him an ear beating and stuff. And he looks at us, and he goes, where are you all from? And I go, well, we're from the boat. We're not locals. Yeah, we're from the boat. And he goes, no. He goes, y'all get out of the car in the back. So we got out, and when we got out. And he checked on us, dude, because that's their money maker. They want
tourism goes down. That whole place crashes.
Yes, and he looked at both me and my wife, and he goes, are you both okay? You nothing wrong with? I go, nah, man, we're just. He goes, all right, man, you all go ahead and go back to the cruise ship, and then we start. And dude, he was being. So we walked across the street, and when we walked across the street, I started videoing again across the street of him just getting his ass ripped by the cop. There's no telling what the hell. But Calvin's, he goes, I don't care anything about Calvin at the conch shop.
That's funny, dude. Did you go to the Bahamas, Casey? Did you go on a cruise, Casey?
Yeah.
No, that's a funny story, dude. That's wild.
Yeah, I went.
That is actually kind of scary whenever you think about it.
Yeah, so and that's when they realized they were fucked,
And in this moment, Casey realized he fucked up.
Yeah, because, hindsight, and we did the what ifs. What if Calvin at the conch shop, the really nice guy, saw us as a couple of marks, and instead of him taking a right to go to the straw market, he took a left, and we would have woke up the next morning, in a bath full of ice and our liver's gone,
Yeah, you never know, dude.
Yeah,
that's crazy, man. That's funny.
So to tie it back in, the reason why I said that was,
dude, okay, I was telling this to my wife. Oh, tie it back in. Sorry.
I was just saying that we did not get. I mean, these were live snail conchs. You know what I mean? They were live aliens.
Yeah,
and he diced all of them up, and we ate them. There's texture to them. They're a little salty, great. But we knew eating that fresh, the fresh vegetables and stuff, that it wasn't like we were eating just fried, greasy fucking hush puppies.
Yeah.
And we felt great after that.
Yeah.
That was the tie-in.
I love that, dude. Dude, I was telling my wife this the other day because I always joke about how my life is a sitcom because, guy dying in the Airbnb and, some of the shit that happened in our last few shows, playing with the band, the people that I meet from this podcast that hit me up, the things that I see in the construction industry, dude, I see and hear some wild, wild stuff. Your wife said the guy's name was Marlon. Shout out Marlon, dude. Marlon sounds like a good dude. I love how you guys didn't narc. Good for you, man. Not being a narc.
Yeah.
But dude, people ask all the time. They're like, how do you see all this stuff? How do you do it? And it's like, dude, just go out and live life, man. Like, get yourself in some experiences where some weird shit will happen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I thought about that a bunch on this trip, Now, granted, the stuff costs money, but still you can go 20 minutes out of town or 45 minutes out of town and just experience a different speed of life and encounter those same type of things also.
Yeah. Well, hey man, anyways, let's just sum that up with, Colton asked about working while you're sick. I don't know, man. I'm not a doctor.
Well, I do know from experience.
It's tough. The blue collar people have to, especially if you're an hourly worker or you're somebody who runs the show. You can't, it's hard to just take off. Or if you own your own business, dude. That's hard shit. Working while you're sick. We've all done it and it's hard, especially if other people don't show up and you've got to make sure the show goes on. You know what I'm saying? But you also have to take care of yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Sometimes if you're feeling shitty, getting out of bed, starting to move, if you can start sweating, sometimes you'll be able to burn it out, but you don't want to be in a situation to where you're feeling shitty and you still try to power through it. You're working heavy equipment or something like that. And you can make a mistake because you weren't at 100%.
Don't make it worse. That goes if you have an injury, if you're sick, if your shoulder's hurting you and you're trying to do something and it hurts and or your back, don't do things that's going to make it worse. Your well-being is a lot more important than your job or your business. And, you're not going to be able to provide if you make yourself worse. Like if you work until you're just sick, like one thing I'll kind of make this last little note and then we can wrap this thing up. Like my wife evens me out a lot. Before I got married and before we lived together and everything, I would literally work until I got sick, until my body physically made me quit, because I would work till 10, 11 p.m. every night. I'd go to my job, then I'd get done and I'd be working on, my side hustles. Right. And I would work until late at night, every night, to the point where I just was exhausted. And then I would do it over and over and over and I'd never get enough sleep. I'd never take time to just chill out and relax a little bit, to the point where I would get high fevers. Like my body eventually would just make me so sick and I'd power through some of that stuff. But then the more I powered through, the sicker I got.
Yeah.
And it'd make, I'd be sick for 3, 4, 5 days. And even if I went to the doctor, it'd be nothing. They'd be like, we don't know what you have. You just have some bug. Well, I eventually learned that it's just because I did not allow myself the amount of time I needed to rest. I was out there working out in the heat. I was out there doing stressful things and not taking enough time to just chill. And I think that in today's culture, it's so easy to do that and get wrapped up in that whole hustle mentality that sometimes you got to remember just to take a step back and take care of yourself first.
Yeah. If you can find that chill moment, like I found when we're gone, I literally didn't think about work or bills or issues or whatever. It was good to kind of just declutter and get that shit out of my mind for a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm ready to attack the world now.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. I'm not an anti-time off guy. I really am not. I think if you take some time off strategically, it's good for you. But anyways, man, we've been rolling for an hour, 45 minutes. We've talked about a lot of stuff and,
shout out to Mama Llama, Bozarek, Ben Parmalee. I don't know if
we had a lot of people on and off throughout this call. Not a lot of people sticking around to the end. So thanks for those that did stick around to the end. But we had a lot of people coming and going the whole call.
Garrett Sharp, Certified Wrench, Colton, Relo. They were all hot and heavy at first.
Yeah, they were. Relo's in church where I'm about to go. Well, hey guys, buy some merch if you want to support the show. If you want a free way to support the show, you can leave us a thumbs up on this YouTube video. You can give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcast or Spotify, and you can share the show. And then if you do want to help us grow and get better equipment, make our studio nicer, put out a better quality product, you know, you can drop some money in the tip jar and the link in the show notes, just the tip. Or you can, you know, you can buy merch. So, or you can work with us too. Go check out our website. Guys, thank you everybody for being here. We appreciate you guys. We love you guys. We ain't stopping anytime soon. Get out there, take care of yourselves, do something hard today.
Well, by God.